Okay, as you already know, there are a few ways of joining the cast on and cast off part to make a cowl. And a cowl needed as a flat panel. So you have a certain amount of stitches, as wide as you wanted to have them, and then you are going to join them. In this case we are going to join them by casting off both parts. When you want to join two parts, you always have to put the right side to each other, because then the casting off part will be on the wrong side of the work. In this case, when we would do that, then you will certainly have a loom around your neck, because then the loom will be in between. So we are going to do the following. We are going to put this casting on of the cowl on the pegs again. Maybe on another loom, that is also possible, because I had use of this not half, I could use this loom too. So I'm going to put the right side of the cowl so I can see it. And then you are just going to look over here. You see, this is the E-wrap. So you're just going to pull that part on the loom. Okay, this was the one we already done. Here's the purl stitch of that one. I'm always putting the stitch that is below this loopy cast on the loom. And you just take a closer look. Here's the loopy part, and here's the stitch. You're pulling the stitch, putting the stitch on the loom. You've done this one now. And you just pull a bit at your work. The one that is, this is your cast on. This is your first knitted row, and that one you are going to put on the loom. Take all the strands, and as you can see, the loopy part is disappearing behind the stitch, because that's what we want on the inside of the loom. I'm going to do it another way, just to demonstrate it, and maybe that is even easier for you to do, because then you have a better look at your work. So we did this part of the cowl, so we have to go on to this one. Here's the loopy part of the cast on, here's your stitch, and that is the one you are going to put on the loom. It's not that easy when you demonstrate it. And if this stitch is too tight, that is also possible, then you do this one. But I want to have that one, so I'm just going to put it on the loom. I did this one, so I'm going to the next. Just going to pull at my work and just take the stitch. I've knitted it with 3 strands, so there have to be 3 strands on my hook. Okay, this is the one on the loom, so I'm going to continue to the next one and just look at what you see. You see stitches, and you have to, okay, this is the one. I'm having the whole stitch, so I'm putting it on the loom. Okay, this is my cast on, my loopy cast on, and when I would use this one and I'm casting off both parts, I will have a few holes over here, and that's what I don't want. Okay, twisted stitch. E-wrap is a twisted stitch, and when you're doing it as a flat panel, you have a long leg here. In the next row you see the long leg over there. So that's what you look at. This is the one we already did, so you have to have this, the next. So you just take a closer look, put it on your loom. Okay, I will try. So this is the one we did. This is the loopy cast on. This is the stitch following on the cast on. All 3 strands on the hook. Just pull a bit and put it back on your loom. Let's take a closer look. Okay, here we have it. And of course you can also take this side, that's a bit bigger, until you have done all these stitches. Maybe this side is even much easier because that is the long leg of the E-wrap. As long as you do the same all the way. Okay, now we are at the part where the purl and the E-wrap for the... Just take a piece of... Now, I'm just going to take off the other part of the... And I'm doing that with a circular needle, because I want to put that above the stitches I did on the loom. As long as you do it the same way, so when you doing it from below, you do all the stitch below, you do it from above, you do it all the way from above. Okay, my cowl was how many stitches? I'm going to count that because I want to make sure that there were, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 stitches. So I want to have 15 stitches over here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay. I still have to put 2 stitches on. Or I have forgotten one. Okay. Take a closer look. And as you can see, I really did forget one. So I just take them off. So that's what you wanted to have. We want all the stitches. Just put them back on the loom. This is the purl part. And that is okay, and this is the last one. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I did have 15 stitches, so I'm going to put the last one to it. And as I said, we put the right sides together when we are casting off. So as you can see, the right side is at the inside at this moment. And now that's the beautiful thing about a circular needle. You have a favorite side, of course, on putting it back. So you can either pull it this way to do it over here, or you pull the needle through and you do it over there. Let's have a closer look. I wanted to have my stitches still twisted, so I'm putting, this was my last stitch, and I'm putting it all together. This one was my pearl, so that one shouldn't twist. Okay, when you have a closer look, this is the way it doesn't twist. So you let it twist by putting your hook into the other part of the stitch. Now, because you have pulled off those stitches the same way, you know now, I just have to do it this way, so my stitch is still twisted. And then you can put it back. Because when I pull it this way, the stitch ain't twisting. So I'm knitting through the back loop. And I'm just putting it back on the loom. And that's what you do with all the stitches. Be certain that if you use 3 strands, you put 3 strands back on the pack. If you do it like this, you can see I'm in the middle of the stitch, so putting it back just by pulling. And if you want to open the stitch, you can also use your other hook or aid to do this, or just use your finger and pull it this way. Just watch out that the stitches don't go off the needle. Maybe you can do it, pull it a bit so there is a certain part of the needle so the stitches won't come off. I already put some of the stitches on the loom, and now I'm nearly finished. Take it off, just pull a bit and then put it back on the loom. And when you use this left side of the pack in this case, it's even going back easier as when you use the middle of the pack, but just try a bit. What is the best for you? Okay, now all the stitches are back. I did the right way because here are 2 on it and everywhere are 2 stitches on it, and we are going to knit them together with the cast off that is as loose as possible. I think I use the E-wrap because that is the stitch that is very loose. So you put over those stitches. The second one is going back to the first one and you knit over. So that's how you create a cast off. And try to do it as loose as possible. Maybe you even pull at this stitch and then this stitch again, so you create a bigger loop. But try to have the loops as big as the one before that. Second with the first, and you knit over. And you put the stitch back to your knit work. Okay, already a little loop, 2 stitches over here, you grab them, you wrap, and you knit them together. Already a bit loopy, this one. Okay, and you knit the stitch. You make it already a bit loopy or big enough so your cast off is a bit stretchy. Or if you know another cast off that is stretchy enough, just do your own cast off. We're almost finished. And I'm just grabbing those two already, so because of all the colors, I'm certain I'm not taking this working yarn with that stitch. So, and I'm putting the stitches over. And in this case, it's okay to do 2. This is the first stitch, you hold that one, you put it, the stitch with stitch 1, you knit over, so that's also a possibility. You finger length, and this one you pull through. Now, this is what happens when you cast the 2 parts off together. Okay, this is the stretch of the cowl, and this is the stretch of the cast on, so it's a little bit tighter, but it is possible. You don't see that much. And as you can see, you get a bit of a bump over here, but it is a beautiful and easy way of doing a joining of a cowl. Now, that was the wrong side. This is the right side. And this is how it looks when you put 2 casting offs together. This is where the joining is. And as you can see, it's also a beautiful way of joining the cowl. Now, we only have some weaving ends. This was from the casting off, and this is from the casting on, or the other way around. I will put those together in a reeve or square knot, and then weave it in the cast on and cast off part. Needle, put the yarn into it and just weave in so you don't see it on the outside. And you cut that yarn